Jurors handed down a split verdict this afternoon in the trial of the third man charged in the 2022 Easter weekend mass shooting at the Columbiana Centre Mall.
Marquise Robinson was convicted on 9 counts of assault and battery, but he was acquitted on an attempted murder charge. More than a dozen were hurt in that mass shooting. 9 were shot.
Nick Neville's been covering these cases and has more after speaking with the solicitor following the verdict.
Solicitor Rick Hubbard tells me he respects the jury's decision here, following guilty pleas or guilty verdicts for all 3 of the suspects charged in this shooting. He says it shows that the victims were not forgotten. Some finality in the Columbiana Mall mass shooting case Thursday, as the third and final suspect, Marquise Robinson, learned his fate. Guilty of 9 counts of aggravated assault, not guilty of attempted murder.
3 people started this, but for Robinson, none of this would have happened if he'd walked away.
The state argued that all 3 co-defendants, Robinson, Joanne Price, and Amari Smith, came to the mall that day carrying hate from a years-long feud.
They have guns on their hips, but in their heart, they already have malice. It's there. They carry that with them. They came into that mall, and folks, it's a recipe for disaster.
But Robinson's defense attorney, Sean Kent, said lumping these 3 suspects together was not backed by the facts and the evidence, because there was no, quote, agreement to meet up that day.
But now just running into each other has turned into an agreement, that while we're in the mall, we're going to make a conscious agreement to start a fight, to get together, to track somebody down that we just ran into. But we're going to make this without any evidence. As a matter of fact, when I say the word evidence, I get picked on.
Solicitor Rick Hubbard said during his closing argument the 3 men were engaged in a culture of violence that spilled out into that crowded mall. Robinson didn't literally shoot anybody, but he was just as guilty as the other 2 men who engaged in the shootout, Hubbard argued.
The minute any one of these guys pulled their pistol, touched their pistol, they're saying, I'm in. I am in. Right here. Mutual combat. I am in. They don't have to do anything else. What happens then, they're all in.
Robinson's defense attorneys argued that under mutual combat, if their client was found not guilty of attempted murder, he should have been acquitted on all charges. They said that the verdict was inconsistent, and they asked the judge not to accept it. He denied that request. Reporting in Lexington, Nick Neville, WIS News 10.
Now, Price was found guilty on all charges last month. Smith pleaded guilty as well. Sentencing for all 3 co-defendants will be at a later date.